News.
Yama Ghana for nyina kwaba na afi yenhye kasebo no ase. Yenhye kasebo no ase a year 2023 national and sub-national HIV/AIDS estimate report ababeto emontre eso. Na wode atoda akire mo ese 2023 no. Ade se Ghana for ade hia HIV/AIDS yade kwade ewu no wo setime ka bie no. Empem edu enson, ahenson adioson enan. 17,774 people. Ana sabre ababeto da se HIV/AIDS yade kwade ewu no 2023 nkwa no. Womonsa etimika bie na amanebo etichemu kakra etiremu a na 6,457 emema ana 11,317 emma we no ene amanebo a Ghana AIDS Commission ede ababetu da na wonom etirem se 4,869 enso mebuna wonom efie no mfinhia dunum ekopem aduonu enan ana 1,698 enso nkwada wonom emfie no enu emfinhia edu enum 1,520 enso adolescent womo a womo fie no efri emfinhia edu ekopem emfinhia makomako edu enkonom ana 16,076 enso empanifo a wonom emfie no ebro emfinhia edunum ekrom na sansem we nyina beto dwa no Dr. Chirematen etu ahene anase Dr. Chireme etu ahene wono ana oye Director General Emma Ghana AIDS Commission ana ode ensem we etu da wabra na wone ensem trofo edi nkobo na wo kirem se wo hwe figures na abato Montres wono a wo hamu ntichemu edunan akiripo enwotwe 14.8% womo a yebeka se wode toto afia etwa mu 2013 no ababepem 2023 no a etimi akofom Dr. etu ahene ekirem se we no nanka womo ehwe ni mu se ebetimi akofom asene saa nanso womu gusoa adwuma no a womu kirem se 41% nso no ana efiti 2023 ekwakopem 2030 no wo hwe animo se eno no ayade a HIV/AIDS infection no ebetimi akofom na wo hwe figures ebeto Montres no a wonum ekirem se 334,095 Ghana fo a wonum ete wo mayi emu ana 115,891 emema ana 218,204 enso ma ani nyina mu no 2023 no figures ababeto Montre eso wokoso a ekirem se wo hwe afie etwa mu 2023 na semo ye kan yi a na chese 17,550 enkwada wonomo emfie no enu emfinhia edu enan ana 16,381 enso adolescent a wonomo fie no emfinhia edu ekopem emfinhia makomako edu enkono ana 33,245 enso young adult a wonomo fie no efiti 15 ekopem 24 ana 316,545 enso adult wonomo a wonomo efie no 15 years ekosoro ana sansem ababetodwa na wobra doctor ede sansem etudwa na wo kirem se sada nso ana afenu mu no 2023 no Ghana for adehia HIV/AIDS nti enam so de wo moto ayanum wonse do no 12,480 wobra doctor Chiremetu ahene wode ensam no etudwa wonsam trofo nhia mu ase no wo ba ye Facebook no so a DLFM 106.9 video no eda so ni nchirechire mo no enie.
With respect to new infections, we are seeing that males, as you heard earlier on, represent 36.3% of the HIV population, and the rest females, being that is 63.7%. The ages of 15 to 49. That's where you see the bulk of the population. This population is the economically active population. These are the people who work and earn income to support the country as well as the dependent population in the country. That is the aged and the children who are not working. And why am I making this point? I'm making this point because it shows quite clearly that HIV is a developmental issue, it's an economic issue, and it's also a business issue. We can only succeed if we provide the needed resources, because we we have the right strategy, we have the right policies, we have the tools, we have all that we need scientifically to achieve epidemic control within a decade.
Enti ebusuani ayeti yei eye wopani kwankyerefo a wono ana Ghana AIDS Commission wodano Dr. Chireme eto ahene ana wode sansem eto dwa na wo ba ye Facebook no so a enkyerechire mo no any videos ni nyina no eda so a won so ubetimi ahwe bie DLFM 106.9 yento akase ebo no eso
yeto akase ebo no so ana ye body awura mu ewo soafo a ohwe etise ohwe nuane na afi so akuaye so onu kura na Rock City Hotel eye ne dia mechire bra na champon wakasa echire mu a ensem bia na montene so eka ka wo se one de Rock City Hotel esi ameka se no musika sam nya kura ntia adwuma no kura egu no o chire mu ani nyina no yade ya no kura ba kompo eyade ewo mu wakasa odin se wonya do tudwa ewo mra Samuel Okogyeabour Ocran oye mase badwane ede ma eye Northtown ede batu dwa se o sesi ameka se Rock City Hotel no sesi ade adwuma no egu kura o chire mu a wonim sika sam nya ba ko ntino ene wanwan ye pa se ne eye abra na champon anya kukudu agya na so ebeka se ne o persistent shares ewo ye Social Security and National Insurance Trust mechira senate adwuma kuo no akopɛ hotels makoma nan aka Canada ba ko no mana ye numa o kyeremu adabi na manka se modwuma mu egu adenti na o persistent share wo eye kyese senate fo aso eye na de na ade beye bo modena siesie wo de Okogyeabour Ocran se wona tudwa kyeremu a document a wo do bia ba piem na so eye pa every Ghana Revenue Authority fo aso eye ba kyeremu musika sampa nyamianum no krani se Rock City Hotel na boka papa free say wo hwe dwumade a wo mu de na musika sam na emna afi ne kwa wie yom bomoden etina se bu nkunta na ne ma nkwa ye kura ne sente no papa ye be yom pare ba bi ntana ne senate fo banks ahoto ana say wo hotels ahodo no ontwe ne ho famfiri free say wangaza usika sam nya de eye kura na no ene bana champon kyeremu asansema ahodo a Okogyeabour Ocran ka no wonya ka free say ene obomade ni nsa esi ne boka kira ne say so documenta kyerɛ sɛ ono waboka e wo ne hotel ne mo famna bonten na Ghana fo nyina huru bi efiri sɛ nsɛm na waka no de ogitum sɛ enya de anokra baako mpo eya de ewo mu na ma bra na champon oni nsɛm trafo di commando da e na wo kyerem sɛ sansɛm sɛ ne nyina no kra baako mpo ni on de ohunu sɛ sɛ Okogyeabour Ocran no ohunu sɛ wata hunu bi na ɔta no no ohu de enti ene tirimu pa wabo afa ne ho ntra babia ba fa bia na ɔde nsɛm won na monten so keka fa ne ho ana ne papa we usika sam nye afiso abani se na pesa wo beje eye senate for hotels boss wo my Ghana mu na wanka se na betima sese no kyerem sei sansensema hodo a Okogyeabour Ocran no kra ba ko mponya de wom ni sente no osra na da oma no enda efiri na ko no nya sansem ni nyina ka afiso wadansidi a kyerɛ sɛ document bi ababonten a onfama no so hwɛ bi efiri sɛ Rock City Hotel nya de a omanuale eye report no matumi ayempo enti no kra mpo ba ko mpo ni ho a ewo sansensenum okasa ye no.
So it has not offered their hotel to Rock City alone on some sort of a silver platter. I think there was a public tender that 8 companies put in a bid for, and eventually Untold Rock City emerged winners and have been invited to have negotiations with them. So that is really what it is. So it's not that Rock City is buying its hotels. That cannot be put in that way. I think the issue that you mentioned had to do with Rock City's capacity to enter into such a transaction. And the member went on and on a video that I cited with the spokesperson for the NDC on a program called NDC 360, where he made categorical statements that he has, as always, intercepted GRA documents. Intercepted GRA documents. That seems to suggest that Rock City in itself is making losses of about 1.7 million. And the way he was saying it, I mean, you have no cause but to believe him, because he's quoting file numbers, he's mentioning people's names, he's saying all kinds of things. And then when we checked, we realized that none of what the man was saying was true. Not one. There was nobody at GRA that goes the name, I didn't have the permission to mention the person, but he did. There was nobody at GRA by that name. Indeed, Rock City has not even filed their annual returns with GRA.
Eni a woti ye ayo soafo a ohwe nuane e na afi su kuaye so ne den e de brand e champon.
Yento awia pram to breka se bono eso. Ye de fren kra pompode manta mo bofotene ba ko atifia poye atoye eni anafo. Wobia edi ayaw ene awia DLFM 106.9 wo ba yen Facebook no so a we no eye kase bom democracy wadwempo no wadwenkyere ya gitum enu nti wo de ba ye bekenkan ewo yen Facebook na senso na ye de asom wo a yen to akase bo no eso ye bo ade awuram ewo Food and Drugs Authority wono mo so atena ye na me no kase wono mo de won en wan ene won e 2 ene won e 3 ana akwade ama Ghana fo nyina se fiti ne kurei se wo ye Ghana ni na se ukita sika na ukoto duane adi ewa bonten a bomode pa ye hwehwemu akwachiri hunu se enipa na wo to duane no anyanyambia no yama ne permit to make ata se wo mfa to duane mani pani ansa na wato ana wo mo akiremu a die ntia wo mo tu saa anamo no eno betimi aboa ama se bi obi wo hono mo a aduane na wo no ano e bia wo no na enu a ansa ana osade abesi wo anyinya kan say contaminated food no what the abesi montre so say Ghana fo ntim wo mo yem say gunna ebewi akire no na chese edo ha hodo ana abeso Ghana fo so eno ntim say ne be ya food poisoning any contaminated food ye be yi e free system no no wo ka de akire Ghana fo nyina say ansa na wo betam sika kwoto duane e wo kwan ho no di nkan ye hwemu busa say nipa no anyanyambia no yamane to mekrata a free FDA for honomo a wo mo de ye adwuma na wo mo akirem se ehunu bi penti ana bo aserewa wo gi ne bagro a wo yi nani eto nchen na se Ghana fo beka ya afi atwa mu 2023 no ana beto da se wuduru oyibi ene ne mpotamu a ma ne bia woton wa achi bush canteen ebeto da se asa na aduane a wo ton no asa food poisoning bi wom contaminated food wom ama nkofo adi ama fo wo moyam ebi mokrampo famu a wo moto ayanom ewo ensedo na no ana FDA fo chirim se the planning ti want me entena se mase biebu dredu mfrani mesi kotia na wonje bode betem eno ntin wo mode sansem moi eba emontre eso na wobra wo mne nsem trofo edi nkomo no na eyeda ponda ewiase nyina no wo yesi hono mo a wode celebrate eye food security anase food safety ana sansem moi etodwa na chief executive officer ede ema FDA eye doctor eye Delays Mimi Dakum ana wode sansem moi etodwa na wo kire se enu betimi aboa ye papa free se ansa na obi be no aduane abesi kwan ho a wo beton agisika gu no botom no esese eye hygienic eye practices wodi gu kwa mu na obi ho no mu a wo bekọ montre so no aduane a wo ton no bola sinchen gata bi asebio emu tantantan na osi gata na no na wo ton aduane obi ho no mu so a agana bi sinchen se bi awia mu didi a momfa nchen na wo ton aduane no e wo bola ho enti once na every bola no so a wo free kuraba no so a aduane so say sometime na waje so afa na wadasane so te ho a wo to edie eno ana wo mo chirim se ne be ya sa wo ha wo nyina na eto betwa no FDA fo di nkan eye hwehwemu hwe se enipa na wo to aduane no eye hygienic eye processes no ye na fam ama wa pass ma ba bia wo to aduane no ho no mo temwan environment na efe ansana ya manutumi eno nti wo Ghana ne no so no se wo kwakoto aduane abomoden se wo behwe sa ne ma wo nyina hwe se enipa no okita to mekrata ansa na aduane no mpo wo beto awato na se bi mpanese akokọ bi de woni madechie na enso wotie de free woni ano eye deputy eye chief executive officer ede ema Dr. Delays Mimi Dakum wono na wogina na namu a wone ensamtrofo edi enkomo emunsam enie.
WHO estimated that 33 million years of healthy lives are lost due to eating unsafe food globally each year. And this number is likely an underestimation. Over 200 diseases are caused by eating food contaminated with bacteria, viruses, parasites, and chemical substances such as heavy metals. This growing public health problem causes considerable socio-economic impact through strains of healthcare systems, lost productivity, and harming tourism and trade.
For you also making a choice to buy from a vendor who is selling next to the gutter, that horrible gutter, that thing that we keep saying that the best watch is sold by the gutter. If you didn't purchase it, they will not have service and therefore they will move away. One of the things that we are doing currently, for example, is we are pushing the issue of progressive licensing scheme. On the food vendor side too, we are working with the local government. It is a scheme that is already underway where we have officers every day, countrywide, going around. Number one, they are giving education, they are sensitizing the street food vendors. They are telling them that number one, you need to have a health certificate. And this is where it also concerns the whole of Ghanaians. You must also ask them, do they have the
health certificate, number one. Number two, when you also go there, check and see whether they've got what we call the street food vendor permit. The street food vendor permit is something that they are supposed to stick. It has got a QR code on it. Don't patronize food from those who don't have it. It means that we don't know where their food is coming from, and then some of them too, they take forever in trying to come up. They think that there will be the tolerance. So now we are driving people off the market to ensure that the right thing is done. That is why I say food safety is everybody's business. Don't patronize it if it has not got the street food vendor permit, as well as you also ask them where is their health certificate. If they cannot produce that to you, that person is there selling illegally.
Enti anyway no mpanifo a wonom ana Food and Drugs Authority wodi animu na enkomoyi ekwo so obra na World Food Safety Day wonom edie na dwumadie na se no ana Ghana fo adehye ema ne mema wo monso eton aduane wo montren so ene de wo ton banku de wo ton apeprensa ene wo ache emoni abomu obi nso ton atadwe ana ebumokran nso ton de huo wonom nyina kopie mu ewo dwumadie na se na no achi no omne nsamtrofo di nkomo na adesrade a vendors no so edeto FDA fo anim enese wobi wo hono mu ana wode san hyehyɛ ne nyina bɛyɛ adwuma wobi wo hono mu nso a wonfa saade ne anya adwuma enu nti won besre FDA fo se nka wo monhwɛ na nka yɛntem nante ne maba wa ngukurom na nka wo mo anya monitor no se de bɛyɛ obi a wonfa san hyehyɛ ne anya adwuma no emra atimi atwona so firi se bi akosua obedi san hyehyɛ no so but amade ya oboa de ehia nsa aben mudia na saade akya ye bɛka na hye de ba firi se
it doesn't mean that it cannot be done. It is more than reasonable to do. But do they even have the manpower or the resources to make sure that every cocoa seller or every wache cooker or seller, they have the people to certify them, if I should put it that way. If they have those resources, then voila, we won't even have to look out for. You already know where to.
I don't think it ensures any form of safety at all, because unless they do their regular checks, we are still at high risk, because sometimes when you go and you see how they even handle the food, the cough, the way they handle themselves is very unhygienic. So until FDA steps in, me as an individual, the most I can do is report the person or report them to emergency food safety, yada yada and so forth.
Enti wenu eye Ghana fo adehye a wonom so eno aduane eton de ma Ghana fo die ebi mu so tonsanfuo wo batia ne anehurei na Nhyiraba Kwadwo Sammy watobia no mti wa hwe asese tim Kwadwo praise
hallelujah
mo enti afutuwe Kwadwo mu na mudidi abonten me de awoyo ne nti
wo fa be kunipa okon se afutuwe we ne wo ho eye pa o na FDA for no the sister assemblies no ye besre wo no said na lady neka no omo ma license ne hu hia wo mo nse ne se ombe inspection no dodo na access kana mo gie free wo mo tonton nuane ho no hia wo no mo se ne se ombe hwa bia ya mo ton aduane no wo okon mu kwen okrom ha o DLFM last me ko aduane wo ba bi pa ma okon me se me kodu ho no wo se omo kire se obi kura se kuro dana na ho kura na mo fanche se obi didi a mo fanche ye so okwana se kuro dani pa ne sama se na ho kura hu hia se beto aduane no wo nsem sa na omo kire yen Boze nipa na onkata ni tire so enwi betumi atode nim ne yeto me kotu obi a okona moja pram ne nsa ho
ajai
wo mra oton aduane in fact me gina hodi na me san machi koye me wura ho pa mentimi anto de hodi ne manum nyina ato ho
utimi to banku na obeti banku no enti ada behwe na enwi tenten esni ECG fo waya
okon ya hwene ya nware ya bebre okrum ha
106.9
se ya hwene ya nware ntem
wo de wani gwase
na emma no amamoden anya aduane amaye ne bebre
o se eye Kwadwo empanifo abebu bi se se usingina tutua eno nkire se kaka agyawo
David
se kaka se wo pe wosie tu na wanyanwo a ana oda ne kakaja to obawurim
okay
ye wo man bi wo hon mo a ohwe ne mowure kakaja wo a wode ka fufuo
ni nyina wu
ewurade FDA for
u brand mo no sugeni abrante me ne awade ayaka
ka min chese
se ya min kwade nti e ba ni se de ya bro okoye bre niema ye hunu kra be sro mo tuntum nuane na wo ho mo mfa ne se de mo ye ne mo ya me bi ni nti mo mfa ho ukodwa ma me so okotomantos na enye na apro ne na dodo na ato
we kra no Kwadwo wo report no a FDA for kra se sese ye kwoto duane a atade ne kra hye nipa na wo ton no
ye hwe
ye hwe na se atade ne atan ye nyai se obi pa anu aduane a woton Kwadwo atade ehye no we abeka se edi kochi wo enso na ehye no wode kese onye neat ba ko pesei ana why ne ho sakatu we see aduane ho
no so okoye to a ye ni bi e be ya ni se ye to ya ni ye di akoye mu
eno ni asem no
enti so ha obi a na se yale bi wo mu a ye di ya ni ye nya on na Ghana yale bebebe e koso no utumi hu se nuane ahodo a ye die ni bi ka ho bi ena madodo na yale basa ntie besere
onim se obi efi na kura ase ba no odi fufuo obedru nkran osi woni fufuo biem efiri se enipa no a ebia wo ba nkran wakoto fufuo baabi na wo hwe nipa no mowurem ni mowurem a wode ebo nsuo ka fufuo a wo ho
okonim
wo hwe de kakagya obo akakagya tutu no mowure yi nyina ma sese basabi no de ka fufuo na okwabrane nso wo hwe se bio enfifire black a efiri no ho a wode gina fufuo so wa fufuo nkra no wonni biem
okomadamfo ba ko ye fa ne Sylvia Tewia ofiri mind for the basesi ameka so okuma se no okonim
ye fa nsai Sylvia dey
Tewia
Kwadwo ya remix to aso
obe hadwin o na oni masama wotaka pa o se one de abontu se aduane obeto a enkwan gina ho no wompe yes ekwan mfa so ye aduane nti o se enkwan bi okro mpo na mben wodi ya na nam oyem si ya enti e den paso ba koto fufu abonten adi eni konkunti ne yade no onto da
ewurade
onto oni e mekokura no mbetwi aka ho opeso ba koto nkwan aduane efiri kwan amanfo fa so ye no nti no
Kwadwo uf Madina Zongo Junction ho yen se obi adwuma
dabi
but obi ton aduane memo aduane din mo ankasa mko a mo behunu aduane na wo ton no hwe Madina gata green ana wosi ho pe no wo ton TZ gata we ho se assembly no kura no na bia wo mo meti mu a wo de wo ton waduane agisika ne nte no
sisi
ho kakra no nko ade nka di honi
si honom
yo
how say ebinim so ogba adwumaden a mo anua no mo ye ne hote eye kama ye bo mo abaso ne mo wono mo nam kwati kwanse ye nuane bo no ma ye die ne de se ye mfa ye ne ehun yakobɔ bebi sa wono mo daache omu nya no mo kunye too much okruma
na Kwadwo yen kan kire FDA for so say a law without enforcement is just a piece of an advice mo sha mra we na mo ani so a nti na wo mo se mo mpa monitoring team FDA for how many times no kwa omokwa abonte sa ekwesa monitoring Kwadwo ento aso
okunye se ya okunye ento aso ane ye body awuramu ahone ne nsemu na ne de oswafo hwe oman Ghana hone ne nsam so meche Minister of Energy Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh si ameka zo moden wakopio mehebedwa ko yi nsema no a na ne mehebedwafo atena se adwene wahunu se oman Ghana dumzo ne gu amanfo ndwumantene hu behia se ne oswafo a ohwe oman Ghana hone ne nsam so ba bepia mehebedwam na ne omabisa ne sensema na wayi ya no ane wahunu kwan yafa so a oman Ghana dumso ekoso betumi apa ho pemesibre na ne mekira mehebedwam na nya se bikuma akran Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh moden obowura mehebedwafo atena se hya se de bisa ne business opening na dia na ekoso yi ena wa hwa na onka de na dum se pre e wa hwa na yesa de aso na se beyifu a wotuo no na se so aya se dum o bisa ne se krache ye de wakotua no se o de dwumadi abedi so obahwa hone de asem so ne yam kane yi enya na so na Ghana fo ho nta wonom enu nti na ban tua woka na wa wo hwe omode mo na wo bo na edika na so ani ye pa afensu na dia pa na ekoso nti ene Ghana ni ti wonom na Ghana na dum eno no o pa kire sen eno Matthew Poku Prempeh kire ma o munya botre boko na de ekoso no oman Ghana nzezi amekese na oman mu atre o kire mu akurase fo dodo na mo wo kurase nyina na obi ahunu se ne enkrabumpure mantem ha se titire no adwuma busu nto bebepe bia ye afensu kopie mo isile gona aka ne na nka ho no na dwade ntan koso na nso na nsen adehye wono matena se ahunu se ba ye komba banti no moden ye nnwuma kase wono mti no dodo na bo moden atwetwa yam kane ne bi de akọ mafie mu a eno ka ho bi ena dumso no ekoso no afensu o kire mu a emiamia hodo bi a na nka aka ne na dwade enkoso nzezi amekese yi ehone mu nyina dwade ekoso ho no ma no ka ho bi na afei o matwetwa yam kane ne bi akọ mafie mu a no so ka ho bi na yam kane no na ho ade no eswate ena wo kire mu zezi amekese no transformers ahodo ho sa miamia ne nyina no perivo gusu a wanom eyensesie wo ho bi eno ka ho bi ena dumso no ekoso na ba Facebook no so a DLFM 106.9 video ne da ho ma ba emla Matthew Poku Prempeh kopie ma se bedwamu no enya sem kuma ne opening oyi nsem ba ko mienu oyi gu o sei ya baba hwe na bobje se naja edwena agi aboso yi o Facebook no so a wo ba obetima nya bi na de watimi ahwe ena obisa ne se afenso wa adwuma ko be ye fan say eye send power eye eno no bomade eye send power eno na ho ne ne bi tamu abo ma Ghana ta say ne enyam kwana ne tumi power ma ne ma tumi gina so ye de ma wono ma mu kire mu say na nsen etumi shut down na no be say say opening na so ho sensam na kire sen eno wa kire mu say ya de nsese adwumade bi koso ne ma e ba moden na eti ekofo ne edumu ye no se 40 megawatt power no confirm na kwa ho bi ene ma my Ghana dumso na kwa recent no kire ma omu gusu ye adwumaden pa boa toto ne ma se betumi aboa na Ghana enyinam hode na tuma gyan na so na afin so ene ma tuma kwa de ma Ghana recent no Ghana for ma de so betumi anum su atwan wo pe na ne ma tuma kwa de ma man na ma okasa wo ma se bedwamu no emu enchire mu nie.
From the minister, if he is aware that the same explanations that he offered in his answer today were offered the PURC by the ECG, and the PURC, based on the data that was provided, came to the conclusion that out of about 4,141 outages within that period, only about 33.6% of those outages were attributable to the reasons that he gave, for which reason the ECG board was fined 5.8 million Ghana cedis. And can he explain how that sits well with the answer provided that there was no load shedding, even though the PURC, based on the data that they assessed, which was submitted by the ECG, came to the conclusion that those power outages could not have been as a result of the transformation movements and all the other reasons that he gave.
Unfortunately, the questioner was a bit late, and so he may not have apprised himself of the answers that I had given. Mr. Speaker, I'm very, very, very clear in my mind that the question that is being sought an answer for now is totally different from the question that was asked at that time. And if it comes in a better format, I'll provide the answer and a full explanation. I am not aware, and the interpretation of the documents is very, very varied, and I don't want to go into that. So if I'm asked a specific question on PURC, their dealings with all the agencies they regulate, I'll come and answer. Thank you.
So, Mr. Speaker, I wish to find out from the minister what he makes. It will be quite interesting that he is not aware that the PURC disagreed that there was no load shedding, Mr. Speaker. I want to find out how he deals with the agencies that operate under him, for him not to be aware that the PURC disagreed with the reasons given as reason for the power outages that we experienced under that period.
Mr. Speaker, today it looks like I'm begging for a protection to right. But Mr. President, it is not a fact. Actually, it is contrary to the fact. PURC is not under the Ministry of Energy. Thank you.
Any awuti ye ayo swafo a oda o my Ghana eno ejesa hwadene so me Minister of Energy Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempenene ena awuti na kopie ma se bedwemo no mo de se ye fraud wo kogina ho pa na ebisa nsama woko enya se mekuma wani nya de na kokomba wusu se yi a wote se na oyi nsama no
on se Kwadwo
oko
ade ba ko ne se on se honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe we MP
yeah.
If you hold one way na
dwuma
yes a one what ya way na dwuma but at the point ya invite was be brief the house no as minister no forget say one am ya dwuma who said the honorable Al Hassan Suhini is who two question about no on say Hannah or begging for the speaker's protection
yeah
and for say who contributed to a debate on the floor as member of parliament you different
yeah
Anna, so we are member of parliament now, say minister. Sabre no bibi nko so esi be yia no.
Okay.
I say, nyame adomo a I think say on the 6th of next month.
Yeah.
Anna honorable Henry Cote so ekwa pie parliament ani.
Senior man so ko ne de.
Yes, over wa kele no.
Yeah.
Ono so interior minister.
Sure.
So ono so MP wa ya so central.
Eni me me hye bedwani no.
That's right. Sabre na wo ko as minister no. Ni too good jam den free say sabre no obi atime to question ba wo
enye izo
utimi destroy bullet at any time
timpeninya no odu ba bia o hawo no wo mpa o
oh yes
frawo sadia masa na waso ba ba yeshiu
but a occupational hazard adwuma bia wo ye no ehun fifire na wote
okay
me sure say ye kan say no MPs ni bi tie ye nti omunim dia ye kan
omo so boabo omo ho ato munya na say we frɛ wo mo a
that's right
maka kan o ma say
that's right enti ye nto aka say bo no so na yanko yanim and I watch you mu ana wa my Ghana and some trofo kubatan Ghana Journalists Association efiti bra yati ekoyi emfinshama akoma akwaduoso enum eni 75 years enie na womo afishia da na womo edi ewo ye KNUST ewo Kumase na dwumedie na ase no se bimpani se wodi a ane ebo enti womo tonsa ede frɛ kane wo pani a na woye Ghana Journalists Association president mepacho wada wosan eye diplomat ne din ede ambassador Kabra Blay amehie wo kogina dwumedie no ase na wobra wo hotri akasamu dina simpie ni apaso no ana wo kirem se wo beka kire Ghana fo nyina se ye moye nsem se Pentecost fo emfa ema ensem trofo firi se Ghana kabima minkabi ebegina yie Ghana sumdue ebetena se na pere ye any accountability ekoso ni nyina no eye Ghana ensem trofo wo tiremu a ensem trofo no ye the fourth realm of governance na kire se ye ne hwe ese aban nwumakuo ani aban bi obetena so ne dwumadi a wodi no emframa betimi amfamu na awia bebomu ama Ghana ni awon so wotu ato na wokoto aban wo behunu na abato no so emfaso eno nti wo kan dia kire nsem trofo nyina se fiti na kuri ye namoa ye mpagya abati esa petupra wo kwa wade firi se ya boa papa ama Ghana kabima minka bi no atimi agina yie wosesa wo de Ghana etoto aman hudo ni bi hu a se wo no democracy no asini trust se mosquito coil Nenso Ghana de ndie da so agina na so a ye symbolic confirm ye tuamu tententen esa abilaba na ne nyina mo no eye Ghana ensem trofo adwuma ya ye efiti Gold Coast ebepem ena Ghana ababa ye Ghana yin wo bra wakasa na wo kiremu a wo se ebraso se Ghana fo ebo omnsam ede mansam trofo firi se kabima minkabe no ne boden na senkanya ensam trofo a in
the last 32 years since the restoration of democracy, the media on the whole has managed to hold successive governments accountable and kept our democracy steady. In the first parliament of the Fourth Republic, which was dominated by one party, the NDC, with a single independent candidate, the late Honorable Okogyeabour, as a result of the boycott by the NPP, it took the critical and vigilant role of private newspaper to hold the parliament and government in check. That was the period when Kofi Commission and the Chronicle conducted aggressive and robust investigative journalism, which in today's era has been taken to greater heights by Manasseh Azuri Manasseh and unsung Emmanuel Dobevi and other fine journalists. The advent of private radio and television has broadened citizen participation in Ghana's democracy, and there is every proof that the electoral history of Ghana has benefited from media oversight. Talk show hosts such as Pupu Sichado, one of Ghana's finest journalists, and Kamel Dumont set very high standards in their time with Joy FM. I dare say that journalists of journalism has contributed so much to the development of Ghana and its democracy more than any other profession. Ghanaian journalists should have every reason to feel proud about their impact and contributions. The association must never slumber. To remain the voice of defense for press freedom, the GGA leadership must strive to maintain the independence of the association from government and other interest groups. I do not advocate adversarial and confrontational relationships with stakeholders in the media landscape, but the optics do not do so good when independent professional bodies get too cool, closer and cozy with interest groups interested by nature in manipulating and controlling media.
Any ayeti former Ghana Journalists Association president, I was saying a diplomat, nidi ade ambassador Kabra Blay, I'm here. And what this answer way etu edwa na enwechi no and head of department Emma language and communication ewo KNUST Dr. Victoria Falek one also ebo ne some edema Ghana Journalists Association say dwumadi atesa wo mdo mo ho ahyemu na Ghana so kebma minkebe no etimegere ye.
This gathering, ladies and gentlemen, has availed our students the excellent opportunity to interact with seasoned journalists, and this will boost their confidence in their future practice. It has also given our lovely department, faculty, college, and the entire KNUST community a nice flavor of visibility.
Anyway, no, head of a department, languages and communication, KNUST, Dr. Victoria Falek. And what this answer will etu Ghana and what you know, and a vice president Edema Ghana Journalists Association, Lenda Asante Eji, one also edituda, Botaye, any a tripua, na eda yes, public lecture no, a tertiary, and also intermu any.
as we celebrate our 75th anniversary on the theme, 75 years of excellence in journalism, honoring the past, embracing the present, and shaping the future. To that end, our gathering here today is very special as we begin a series of public lectures planned to commemorate the importance of this milestone.
When also your Vice President Emma Wamaikan and some trophy Kubatan, Linda Asante Eji and Wakasai.
Ye to akase bono so na ye body agura mu. E wo so afo a ohwe nnwuma and afi so adanse yesu o my Ghana mu. Ne den ade kodwo opon kroma den sema todwa e kire mu ase sia make say. O my Ghana ye bo modern e sisi adan ne ekosi bi oni beka ne say affordable housing ni bia e cross wire sagreme ohun. Na ono mu kire mu ase sia make say dan ba bia ban na ye kwadro no ni sika sa. Oh, abaya mobo say o kire mu ni sika sam ba bia dro no. Enquiries Ocran Nhyiraba wajamo de ato ne Ghana nnwuma ku ahodo amufi se musika sema ye no private developers ne de wa usika ye bomade na ne bla na fa nto bo abande no ne baba to aso na de dwumade no entimi enkosu ye emfa wa my Ghana na na si amekase ko dwon pon kroma echema ne companies ne makoma ku edu 10 na mu nyina kwa do echema ne project na mo saka mo pepa betumi aboa na do musika de ahyem na Ghana fo nyina yetuma nya bi na ne Okogyeabour Ocran ne man ne sika so na ne kakra obenya bia na wafa na ntoma no na esre no ne dan ne si wadada wakwa akode maja na ho atumi atwonom na ono mu chima esi amekase deadline na mo tu just proposals na mbra no o wakakra na so ne senti Ghana fo do na atumi ayi wo muti se de tie bia no dwumadie no ono musaka babo apante omo de musika ye ready omba beba na ne se omba beje dan de aboso na mla kodwo pankroma endrada e ka prema tamu no ne Ghana centrafo di ahyem no say oh sisi amekase oh dwumadie na kwaye pa na sisi amekase companies na makoma ko 10 na maya krado say se edan no musaka ometumi asiesie ema Ghana fo atumi nya da papa atumi atenam na Ghana fo nyina beka ya edan no ya de asese sagrame eye housing project no nanka ba ya na adwen say obesi makoma ko 5000 na Ghana di hye nyina ya baabi atumi de omutira to se be ya beboa na mo de da mantwe a omo ho kire wo no mo atumi ata wo zi amekase no enam sikasam ne sere nyama bi ko zi amekase no mu kire mu a 1506 unit air house no my adwene say ombetumi asi na Ghana fo nya baabi e de omutire etimi e de ato so zi amekase no kodwo mpon kroma e kire mu adwumade na kwaye pa na mo no mo hwe ne mu say o ma bo maden na o mo de o proposals aba no betumi ma mo kwan na edan makwa akotoa so na Ghana mpanifo ne onoma omo ka bia mo ho akire wano mo nya baabi fo mu trento no o manya baabi do mu tirato wo kire mu asesi amekase no dwumade no nya de on ba kam Ghana fo da de senti na mo fa sam trafo bo mu dawuro nyina da akire mo se mo nka na Ghana fo nyina enya bi entie free se we ndi mbada ho fine na Ghana de je nyina atumi ahunu bi kululu bi ene wa ba kwaso ma kase one kodwo pon kroma ne abaye kese kana na ne den sika kwa wura mu nyina yante ya hunu hwe o kire mu adabi we de mbada ho fine ma Ghana fo nyina de o mani kotua wisie atumi ahunu bi ahunu se ne proposals ne baye no sika sam se ne course na fin so company we ne de dan na ma ne so meto aso na Ghana fo enya bi no o kire mu a yankopon ya aduma kita wo msabo suma wade ya ne me kire July bo suma de ya ne man ne da to so nwotwe de we be enka se nkwa na we de ne company ko a obaba to isagreme eye project ne so na nyama atimi akwedi amayin mara kasa ye no emu enchiremu ni
announced a process through which government will select a private developer or a consortium of private developers to complete the uncompleted Saglemi affordable housing project and operationalize it. Now you recall that government initially took a loan of about $200 million to build 5,000 housing units. 1,506 were partially completed, and that's what you often see at Saglemi. Three major components that were missing: water, electricity, and sewage. When the Ghana Institute of Surveyors did the assessment, they said we needed about $100 million to complete this 1,506. And government took a decision that within the difficult financial constraints, it's very difficult to find that extra $100 million after $200 million has been spent. So cabinet took a decision that we should select a private developer or a consortium of private developers and let them make the investment in it so that we can operationalize it. And you are correct. A couple of months ago, we issued a request for proposals. To date, I am briefed that about 10 companies, international and local, have expressed interest, have picked up forms, have been taken to the project sites. They have had the opportunity to inspect work that has been left there so far, the necessary dilapidation reports, and they are putting together their proposals. According to the work plan that we put together, by the 8th or on the 8th of July, we expect to formally receive all of the bids.
Eni awuti ye eyoswafo ohwe nnwuma na afi so adanse yeso Kwadwo Ocran Nhyiraba
Kwadwo sa wo hwe on abo opon kroma emra no ye MP no na na bodwimfu dwene obeye minister no sese won se ni fumpi na sumu nyina fufu dwene ni adia
minimo ahu se no
adwendwen
Ghana ya power say bedi oman no so na say oman de adwuma bi hya won sa saa na
wufu dwene
so obeye minister na say MP no na wa hya say fu dwene minim ba bia no sifira ebeta oman hye ho ana
se wonfu dwene na position fatal atiazie wonfu dwene ana position fatal
a nice man pa eba na dwene ne de se wonya na wo say mekura ye wo say menu ba bia nso menya me de o
wo de ndie ohia
oh what's it day
Kwadwo Kwadwo men kan hwe anokra na making
me de ne dey
tie adwene no ye wasika fodwene na po begina so hu na podie no na podie enti se wo de hwe na podie Kofi sa wo de na po adwene no sa wo de nyabotre wo de nyabotre majima no si bone an sa wo de na po ne onabo opon kroma dwen etutu wo de etueti abodwi se ya eti sa de wo de hia wo besi ase etutu trasako difference ni ye why
DLFM
na ye hwe na po abodwi se no
hwe na po de no an sa hwe na po de no a eyi ntiantia fo
se be ya tiefo no be je adi number Facebook no so be hu de ye kan
wo dwene no dehydration kan wo dwene no
senior man den ye dempa o
sika fo dwene no
o se ni nyina ye white
o hia be ka se ya shade na ye spray
ade na ye nua ba kun woni bie apakan me hu dwene woni trimu kura da
ade a onum kokko ni nsuo o bokoko anu abo nsuo goso o be da fo dwene awurade
se roman obi o
be passport
Roman will be
minim so obi
na ne de ne ye de ahin bia
traso me kan ka se bo wo de on to kwa de o kan ma bo we busa Roman father dwene David
na say ye ka wono mo wadwene na owo bi pa efia no mi se obi no wo wadwene
me nka sa mi se Roman obi
na wadwene so efo
yes efe de obeka bi ameka bi
wo se na wadwene efe se no omu nyina de
yes efia de obi anto no kra
ba ade na Kofi na wadwene ehwi ba kumpo
David ara wo fi so masaya da
Kofi tera ba kumpo ntua o minim na ade o de blade be na eyi ne de ya mai
odi waache de wo se waache tutu dwene o enti abusia mayanto aka se bo no so for pani wo hwe ase ya no kan nsem na wo di dwini ko tutu dwini ho Kofi parliament an wo se abusia Ghana no ye nyina ya dia enu nti ade bia ebe ye no se bio ye mfa dwene to ho wo so otie kase bo no hwe ne life wo agona bobikuma ana me wo fa ase mamom Belinda wo se kase bo no demo life pa wotie ehwe ye life wo adenta housing down me wo fa se bibia hye ye die wo de awie na ka so hwe ana piaga wo di free achemo asafo ana wo se Ghana loves okay so Ghanaians love and trust NPP more than NDC ya asare ana se o me nyina ha yenso ya da se me ento aka se bo no so nyemo mfenguram wo NDC amanyuko no emu a wo pani a wotu franka de ama NDC amanyuko no eye kanema mpani John Dramani Mahama yewura ana aka sai wo kirem se nansan enkomo ba ku bi enenam social media no so Ghana fo wo bia edi hu nkomo bi ene sa brante bi a wakwakwatena ayabro timemu a ye fe ne se Kofi Gaps anase Mr Happiness wode betu da kirem se ukita Dutch passport wa ohu wonfa so ensene Ghana ni a okita PhD ensem ba ye tese aye nsem pipa na no ana kanema mpani John Dramani Mahama adina no tumbe no wakirem se wonti mi hwedi masa asem no enkonkoda na emum do beka enese babia amemo na dru no ama se Ghana ni babia mpo any confidence ewa Ghana habiem enu nti saa na mrantie na koduru abrochire no won beka kan wo firi se wotu nani ehwe abrochire ho na wote no na se wotu nani ehwe Ghana atse de se bio aboatatia wode toto wo so no ho aye denden ama Ghana fo ayete wo mai mu firi se ni da so asa enteba na saa no asa na obeka no na wose eyeye ananka mfinhia nwotwenie ye de tumi no ema NPP fo ananka omu ya wo mai yie pa no anka nye ne se nka nei Ghana ni ba bia kwatena abrochire a na wo ye ntoto ho anasa Ghana de se bio ase atiafuom wose no eye ne yase wote saa asem no sa branch na kan saa nanso no wodi kan every se amammuo no ama Ghana ni ba bia mpo ani gidie se obetena Ghana ha wode sansam wa nyina to da wabra na public lectures so na Christian Service University ewo Kumasi a triple and that's why a sustainability of democracy in Africa wakasa ewase.
There is widespread despair and anguish amongst our people, leading to an active debate that I have followed recently on our social media about whether securing a foreign passport to do menial jobs in Europe is better than holding a PhD in Ghana. It is a reflection of the adversity into which our nation has been plunged. Otherwise, there's no basis of comparison between a visa and a PhD. A PhD is about learning and education. A visa is an opportunity to travel and reside somewhere. But you forget that where you are residing, there are people with PhDs too. And the comparison is not between their PhDs and the fact that you are residing in their country.
DLFM.
Learning and education is the most important resource a human being can acquire. Those whose glaring failures at economic management have sucked us into this vortex of despair, despite their lofty talk in opposition, and who now seek to flee from responsibility, cannot be rewarded with the presidency of a nation in such deep crisis.
Enya yeti ye Frank Ocran Nhyiraba NDC amanyuko no kanema mpene John Dramani Mahama and ode sanse mu etudwa apakan GH atenase agoprama so nsem ye gine tewu de aka nyina so ye de beto am so
DL News.
Abusia enere yebesama wa ha ama wakwaba ediba deal 106.9 FM kasafidie so ene yawada eyepram tobre kasebo so mreredo se agudie mu nsama woso yagibre na yediba besomo na wa agudie mu nso no ohun ne ekọ ene ne ba insampi na na eguyan pronso ediba Ghana dia wa ena nkrofon kroso de latest any exclusives no ya boaboa ni nyina no ayediba besomo edi ameje so no eya Yesu ano de hye Apakan GH the blessed kinentantam so mention some say emfam fifi emfam area mention say emfam latest FIFA ranking ababetoja na Black Stars of Ghana no according to FIFA no or see in latest positions no say that wo wiase nyina no according to FIFA no or see or ranking no ye toso eduosia 964th position and yedi wo wiase nyina and oba bibremu Africa Toso edumienu 12 position and yedia yeron komo area to anim way any latest FIFA ranking aba yeron some area to Ghana Africa no in the mema top 10 area say that Morocco dikan Senegal tosmienu Egypt miensa and 9 Ivory Coast Nigeria enum ensiane Tunisia Algeria and son and Watria Cameroon and 9 ana and Chrono Mali and Eduno South Africa Ghana Ubehuyan Ewodumienu 12 positioner yet on some area one or guessing a handful a former player Edma Black Stars of Ghana or see a woman saying game say a boy against Omaya friend Mali and a Central African Republic ye need ye no mono or sre otuado see and first half no and nya going forward no on ye first half performance wedma Senabaya ye show games asia ye brought to me asha see or guessing I am for no futu sama or the amo tuado no ye di atuanim na yempiem our Ghana brantia ye friend Muamber Kudus na kache o si akan Edma Bobo kwa ye friend Western United our my ye friend England na latest report coming sa HMA upiem our Saudi Arabia Bobo kwa ye friend Al Ittihad no omania brese jatabunu omosi kwambia so no abrantia friend Muamber Kudus no ombefano edina fi Western United Bobo kuna kache no my omadwen se ombe triasika botene area ma West Ham na Kudus no so akaso obeba my ready say $300,000 a week no ombe tria area ma Muamber Kudus yedi sansam no edema enti Kudus enja Europe wo non kwajiska ewa Saudi Arabia na eye emrene nkrabia enebeche wo Kumasi Asante Kotoko akache no season no abawie as usual sena onim Ghanaian club so mo ye no season bia kwawia normal pam bebre normal to bebre gumunti wholesale no eno ana eguso ekoso na dano na mede beto anim se Kumasi Asante Kotoko eja players makuma ku duba ko ekwan by mutual consent na mede menoka say answa almost sad makumako enson eri abeka ama na yedu otwe latest 7 no edinu say na tie Samuel Asamoah Nana Beyin Amoa Isaaku Fuseni and a branch friend Rocky Dramina Richmond Opoku Julius Ofori Ziggy and a Shadrach Ado latest 7 Omabeka 11 Amaye 18 Senate Niamete and it says Stephen Mukwela and a Richmond Lamte Ebabeka and Momaye Eduonu and a friend Sukotoko ebe sign 15 players yet is a muma kuma 9 if you are man on your mobile into a pam 20 na 15 abeshema as usual Ghanaian clubs so by no or te asem na Dr. Prosper na Togum esi 2 years awaye adwuma ediama kotoko as a head coach ne best 11 enunye o se ni goalkeeper Razak Abelora ubenya branch friend Imoro Ibrahim and Christopher Nate na wenya branch friend Justice Blay and Ismail Ganiu above 4 and 5 oko midfield wa ubenya branch friend Richmond Lamte Mudasiru and Mohammed Sharif and oko animo of Stephen Mukwela and Mbela Etuga and Afensono Imfege we and Dr. Prosper na Togum ne best 11 2 years awabe adwuma ediama kotoko yere some ediama na Dr. Prosper na Togum echema osikotoko ebe transfer market ne entem sene be yombetumi enyo targeted players omo penochemo si this season kotoko ensign lower division players division 2 division 1 players kotoko ene omo tonkwanta omo pai omo ensign biema enwon sem no heart of focus so mene okase enche bi omo so be pam bebre no mo de bi aba be hjem ni amete ene so ram our great Olympics omo left back ya friend Samuel Abe Ashikwe no in the heart of focus starting come twetwe na omo nya brante no omo de ne beba na wa ba be sia kan de amoma ye de won some area coach Bashiru Hayford veteran coach Ghana mene okase Okogyeabour Ocran ye friend Heart of Lions na ochema osi odiphobia eni onyam ewo ni krom inti Ghana se na say yes celebrating no yen celebrating isa or the Kotoko Agi League or the Ash Gold Agi League ebia ne se ende no or the Heart of Lion escape relegation or se sadia wa ye nyina chi no Ghana for yan regard no na ye twen se sabi obenya ne baby akọ ne ya betwen krata actual tribute outdo we ene nsema Bashiru Hayford edi atudwa yimano akayeke player edi Samates 1996 or say league na omoji na fi no omo team no enya omo esan say pre-season na omo nya no ekoye training so nyama koye na omo put in a lot of work during pre-season into no mo de omo wagidie say league no mbaji into league no maje no enya omo so mbekọ so na ende omo ya adwuma den se na be Africa no omo kọ no ombetumi akobo ommode ati Ghana anima yere won sam ede atu anima enya sam ketwa Alexander Akwesi Abebio CEO edema bofo kwata no na osi FA Cup final no omo hwe anim so mbeje omo jinso omo ya ready so mbekwa akobo Africa we ene nsema CEO edema bofo kwata no edi atudwa yedi amao na ya monitor ewo nkrofo nkroso dia Heroes no group A no endra omo second game no eba so Germany echi Hungary ebo makami no omo entmante ena Scotland ena Switzerland equity obi a chene yonko ekaba akobako group B no eyo ma ye friend Croatia ene Albania koti obi a chene yonko eka mienu nyame adoma ne masa big games and everybody so group B no 7 p.m. Spain and Italy bebo big game by all standard and about 1 p.m. yeah group C no Slovenia and Serbia ebebo and 4 p.m. no another big game beba so group C Denmark and your maya your friend England Eddie Bebweni Copa America 2024 South America for omo championship no e sha se o USA ne bo ahimrachi dumienu a oma ye friend Argentina and Canada and the opening game no e di ebebuani e de won komo e di atu anim nansia and Leicester City omo manager ye friend Enzo Maresca eja omo kwe meno ka se omo appoint Wolves omo 44-year-old manager a friend Steve Cooper say on a 3-year contract until June 2027 no ombra no be new manager and from Leicester City everyone some at the amount Bobo kwa your friend Aston Villa meno ka se omone Chelsea Arechi agreement Dutch left backer yefan Ian Matson omo fa no wa besia kan e di amount na Aston Villa si omo betua 37.5 million pounds e di amatima yefan Chelsea ni aka ne se omo ne Abranten ebe reche personal agreement na Ian Matson agietum se oba besia kan di Aston Villa na deal no I official Shannon so for me say last season Okogyeabour loan e di ma Borussia Dortmund and the Aston Villa e di omo wagim se omo pen ebusu anyina we so na godie hu nsema ya papa no nda wi e di beda on yam fancy mi amede nsema na buy no e di ameje so no e ya Yesu ano de share Apakan GH the blessed king. Over to you Okogyeabour.
Mera se Apakan se ode yako agoprama so na de aba they say they were brand ambassador Emma RTU nti bibia so ehye yie pa ebusu aka se boni ebegina so na ye de si ewa ha na ansa na yebekro no Kofi yenye ne saa ene eye mi ankasa mi MP Honorable Akwasi Dako Boateng ye friend ADB for short bosome frɛ ho MP ene eye honorable birthday wo ba ye Facebook no so owura ni monyamfo no oda so yi enti akra nyankopɔ won hira papa na won kan ho nyankopɔ na nkasa ante nani mo nkyira wo ma nkwa tenten na ene eye o birthday no ye bo din a edom ne mpempem ensere pa David Kofi say
okon enam so ye chairman general
Hwane chairman general
Kwame Sefaka
okay ma me nwe na
ai uwia no
Apakan wo ba ifu ana
na me visa we
ai I say say Kwadwo say wo kan Psalm 20 verse 1 David Bompai bi sampai na mpese me body ma me MP Kofi ade a wo ye eduabo nyanwa David ka kire wo hene David say wo hene ne say omoma so be den asen watamfo ade bia no wo pe ne kokoam ne nyankopon ebema na bam amen wo se nyankopon betie wo mpai ye de hiada na ebinum ebesu afre tiase nam na ebinum so akanfo dade ponko na emom onabo Akwasi Dako Boateng de ne nyankopon edimu no obehim ne franka enti honorable on behalf of the team and all the constituents of Bosome Freho ye we show happy birthday ene wa woda anyankopon enkoso a na wonhyira wo
papa oye nipa se
pa
ene na woda no kede ampon anyankopon nya ne kese
sure
non trend na shim
in fact ye beka se wodi 1 year wodi 1 term 4 years ewo Bosome Freho but ne achievement
yes
ultimate and writing off osi form sesie yi a emrewa enkwada because we obi a wote nanim ema obi a
enti onkoso se de wote no
that's right
onkoso nkura mu saa
sure na daachi bia no wosa babie mu a edo ene ne legacy ntino omanfo no enyi wo mani ema no da
sanity so
nyamisra no
munim se nenso ye nipa Lydia ni di na dia na troso
Limbon
ene na woda
yes
North Legon is it North Legon
or North Kaneshi
ene menya case pe enti Lydia ene ye wa woda dia na DLFM ye we show happy birthday na yenim ba bia ene party ne be koso enti e be sire nyina ne se wo de ye pon a me yente won kan ba bia koso no
anapa na mbusa ansa where the party day today no say e won dem na msio
twide yam pon yankopon tire wushi na onya wo kese that's right o ma de wosusu wakoma mu nyina no embra mu benim se o pese o ko US because Ghana ha ne de
aha de odi agro be chop
pa bo nyane se nyame mfa nko na yenso ye bedi wachi
yenko na ye kwon de na kire se ene eye chairman general so birthday chairman general Kwame Sefaka
papa we nso de okon onye ni pa ato a
living legend say me wo fa ase no
yeah
me wo fa ase no
wa bobra power media na be bia o sha ase free ya beduru na in fact nyankopon anim no kure ye ne papa Kwame Sefaka in fact obo adwuma
enti ye ko mu amudi mu birthday ni nyina no wo mu ayenim wo mu so omudi ni abo omudi no wo maka de yenim ya nte enti ono abo Akwasi Dako Boateng ana chairman general chairman general Kwame Sefaka ene Lydia animu ye omodia medin e de Okogyeabour Ocran
Nhyiraba Kwadwo Sammy B.
Happy birthday